Today we are going to look at how to calculate the length of a direct common belt. Direct common belt means the distance around these two circles. Here, that distance there from, let's say, point C onwards 0 until you go back to point C. So that's normally referred to as length of a direct common belt. It has a process. It is just an easy thing. Some part of it is what we did last Thursday. Then we add some few things on it, and that is it. So this question is normally 10 marks. For some people, when you're hapendi kusikiza vitu vizuri, they might say it's hard. It is a very simple question. So working out this question involves you read. Kama kawaida tu nilisema, the special things here, there is like from C to D, I see a tangent, which is the same as G to F. Then there is some arcs here and there. So when you talk about tangent, we talked of how to calculate length of a tangent. We explained, did some few examples, and we might need that for this lesson we have today. So listen, when you have two circles, that thing we call a direct common tangent. To get its length, there are things that you must be given. You can be given a distance between the two centers of the two circles and the two radius of the two circles, that's one. Or they might give you distance between the two centers of the two circles and the radius of the bigger circle and the angle between that radius and that length joining the two centers. So those two. Tulifanya examples of questions that explained that last time. That is on Thursday. So today, it is just like I've written there and what I had explained, so we go straight to the point. So let's say this was a question whereby they said, given that AB equals to say 18 centimeters, AC equals to say 10 centimeters, and BD equals to 6 centimeters. Like I said, that's all that we require. You're supposed to have the distance between the two centers, that is one, the radius of this circle and the radius of this other circle. And I've just given you that information here. So then from there, they'll ask us, but we are going to do this like in an explanation kind of. Sometimes when they ask you a question, watakuuliza part A, B, C, D, explaining all the parts, or in some cases, they don't do that. They just ask you, calculate the length, ukishapatiwa these three, then they'll tell you, calculate the distance around these two circles. That's what you're calling length of that belt there. So, but now, we want to take this step by step. You're asked questions one by one. So if you have these questions, how do you do them? The first question will be question A. Calculate. So you're told to calculate the length CD. CD is like what we did the other day. CD is the length of the direct common belt of the two circles. So when you're asked to calculate CD, we go back through the process again. Tulisema, there are things that you require. To get the length CD, you'll say radius of the bigger circle minus radius of the smaller circle, which is 10 minus 6. That answer you get 4. You draw a line on the radius of the bigger circle, which is 4 centimeters from A, Evo. Right. Then that line, which is dotted. In this case, it has to be dotted. Come on, Achora, because it's not part of this, it's dotted. But me, dotted natumia, a different line. That is in terms of the color. So, ukiona your color, you're green, inamaanisha I'm doing a dotted line. So then from this is what should help you calculate the length of CD. Yes?
You said that BC is 6 centimeters. Is it BC or BD?
Oh, BD. It is supposed to be BD. Thanks for the correction. It was BD. Radius of the smaller circle, BD. Sawa. Higher. So, I was saying AC was 10. Now we have this as 4. And we have these other lengths. Maybe if we just write them to make them clear, AC Is it AC is AB? AB was 18. AC was 10. And this length here was actually 6. So we have those lengths there. So I want to answer the questions. My first question was calculate the length CD. So if I want to get CD kulingana venye tulisema the other day is just the same as this dotted line, my green line. To get the length of the green line, once you've drawn it with this length 4, 18, you can see a right angle triangle. So it's simply 18 squared minus 4 squared, alafu square root, which is 18 squared minus 4 squared, alafu square root.
17.5.
17.5.
17.5 centimeters. So we have CD as 17.5. This is a 10 marks question, so this is part of it. Maybe ingekuwa 2 marks or 3 marks, depending, because we still have some other processes to do. Once you get CD 17.5, kwa hii belt ni kama umepata 2 parts already. I got CD, I also got GF. GF is still the same, 17.5. Your length, CD and GF is same too. So we have 2 parts remaining. We have this arc length and this other arc length here to calculate. So once you get those 2, then uta pamoja, we'll have the answer. So, but before that, we go to the next one, question B. There are things that should help us find this arc length. Mnajua vizuri from your form 1. If you want to get arc length inakuanga theta, that angle that subtends the arc, over 360 times 2 pi r. So if I want to get this length, I require 2 things here. The first thing I require is this angle, here angle upper. That is the first thing I require. And after the second thing I require is this radius, which I already have, and it is 10. So to get this angle, you have to go through some process. There is this point, and at this point, naona 3 angles. Hii, na hii huku nje. So if I can get this angle here, which is the same as this, then add them together, then subtract from 360, I'll have the reflex angle that I require for this question. So the process first starts with the calculate this angle here. I want to call this angle BAC. Follow the process vizuri hii. But BAC, I just use this right angle triangle here because it is the one that will help me this. So my second question B will be calculate angle BA alafu C. So to get angle BAC here, let me consider this right angle triangle. I have 2 sides. I have the adjacent, which is 4. I have the hypotenuse, which is 18. So to get this angle, it will be, I use the cosine rule. Right angle triangles, think of cosine. So it's cos theta equals to adjacent, which is 4, over hypotenuse, which is 18. So from your calculator, 4 divided by 18, then shift cos. What do you get?
77.2.
7.2.
17 or 7?
77.
Oh, let me scare 17. You said 77. 77.
Yeah, 0.2
degrees. Thank you.
0.2.
Ukishapata that angle 77.2 degrees, they may ask you for question C. Question C, itakuwa, kumbuka, I'm in the process of, I'm just explaining how to get this angle. Once I have this angle, hiyo ndio kazi tu. Straight away, niko na hii. Because itakuwa rahisi kucalculate. So instead, question C will be asked, let's just do it step by step. Tumepata hii. Now, this is the same. So kama ni same, it means I can get the whole of this angle here on this side, hii yote, hivi mpaka huku. So I'll call it obtuse. Obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is an angle which is greater than or greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So my question C is I'm supposed to calculate the length of the obtuse angle CAG. So if I want to get CAG, CAG is like the answer I got here times 2. So it is simply 77.2 times 2, which is the same as, is it 158?
154.4.
Ah, Nikoro. You said
54.4.
154.4 degrees. Hivyo. So tumepata hii angle hii hapa, which means I can now get the reflex angle. How do I get the reflex angle? We know that angles at a point normally add up to 360 degrees. So since nimepata this outside angle, then inamaanisha I can get the other angle easily. So question D, I want to get the reflex angle. Question D, reflex angle CAG. Kumbuka hapa ni CAG, same. Hii ni CAG, but the first one was obtuse. The next one is a reflex. So if you want to get the reflex angle CAG, how do we do it? Tukitaka kupata your reflex angle, like I've already said, angles at a point add up to 360. So it will be 360 minus 154.4 degrees, which is equals to
205.6.
205.6 degrees. Haya. I hope hakuna mwenye anapotea. Kama unapotea pia useme, usingoje niende Sara nifike South Africa alafu munirudishe Egypt. Inafaa ikuwe clear. So, now that I've got this angle, I can now get this arc length. Hii arc ya huku, it is now easy. So my next question will be, calculate the arc length. Arc length, let me call it CHG. And you can see it. CHG, hii arc length. We know that arc length equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So arc length is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So for this question, our theta is the angle we have just looked for, 0.6. Alafu divide by 360, alafu times 2 times pi. Pi is 22 over 7, or whichever pi umeamua utumie. Alafu kumbuka radius ni the length AC. That is the radius of this arc length. So that AC is 10. What is the answer?
358.9.
358.9 degrees. I got this arc length. Sasa tumemaliza 3 parts. Tumepata hii part, arc length. Tumepata CD, tumepata GF, sahi tumebakisha tu hapa. Hii peke yake. Once we are done with this, we're almost there with our 10 marks. So that's easy. So question F, I'm giving these steps because I'm explaining all the possible parts that you require before you get the final answer. So question F will be, they want you to calculate this arc length here. Yep. But to get this arc length, you have to first of all get this angle, because arc length is always theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Radius tuko nayo ni 6. Hii theta hii angle hatuna. Alafu once you get that, then we can. So let me write the question first. Question ni arc length.
Teacher.
Yes.
Hiyo juu answer ni 35.8. 35.9.
Hii hapa.
Ya juu.
Huyu nani amedanganya sasa? 35.9. You said 5.9. Okay. 35.9 centimeters. So my next question is calculate the arc length DEF. Tunaiona DEF ndio hii. Kama tu ile question nyingine, arc length equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. But theta ni nini? Theta ni angle, hatuna. So I'll tell you this. There's a relationship between the angles here. This figure ni kama similarity like. So there is a way in which angles here are similar to the angles here. So usikize vizuri. Unaona the obtuse angle CAG hii ya huku ndani ni sawa na this angle here. As you can see, they are all even looking obtuse. So, yes?
We can see your arrow. Just yes, we can.
Wewe tu ama kila mtu? Nani mwingine?
Kila mtu.
Eh? Please, kama uone ujiseme. Ni wewe tu. Ahmed. I think
your pointer I can see.
Watu wengine hakuna mwingine ana complain, ni wewe tu. So, kuna mwingine aone?
peke yake mwalimu. Peke yake.
Wanasema ujipange hiyo ni shida yako.
They are pretending. Maybe they are pretending.
They're pretending. They are pretending.
Yani?
Wewe peke yako. Funny.
Yeah.
Ahmed, hebu jaribu kutoka alafu urudi uone kama utaona pointer. Maybe kuna shida na network yako. Sawa. Toka tu.
Sawa.
Yeah, toka tu alafu rudi alafu uone. Now, meanwhile, let's continue. So I was saying that this angle here, the obtuse angle, equals to this obtuse here. Hii reflex angle equals to this reflex here hii side ingine. So it is that kuna venye hizi angles zina relative. So if this obtuse here was, the obtuse angle on the other side was 154.4 degrees. 154.4 degrees here hapa. Then it means that the obtuse here is also 154.4 degrees. Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Unaona ama bado uone?
Sasa ndio nimeingia mwalimu.
Haijaanza kuonyesha bado.
Bado sijaona. Just continue.
Okay, sawa. Vumilia labda hiyo next class utapata sawa. So, if this angle here is equal to this and this angle here, angle CAG, sorry, wacha niseme angles because of one. Angle CAG obtuse was 154.4 degrees. Then it means angle DBF obtuse is also 154. So to get that arc length, itakuwa 154.4 degrees over 360 times 2 times pi 22/7 times radius of that smaller circle, which is 6. And if you work out that, what do you get?
16.2.
16.2.
Yes.
16.2.
Yes, thank you. So now I got this arc length, I have this length, I have the arc length on the other side, and I have the length CD. Normally, once you've done that, then you're done with the question. So the last part of the question, which is what you were supposed to calculate, length of the direct common belt. So watakuuliza length of the belt. Sa ingine, they can name it C, D, E, F, G, H, alafu back to C. That is the total belt. So when you're asked to get the length of the total belt, that's like I've shown you. Now you add the answers that you got. Upper CD, we got 17.5. DEF, I got 16.2. FG, I got 17.5. And GHC, we got it as 35.9. All centimeters. So when you add all those, what do you get?
87.1.
87.1 centimeters. And that is it. Once you've done that, you're done with your question. In a length of a direct common belt, 10 marks, 10 free marks doing that. 10 free marks for doing all that. So just before you ask any questions, kumbuka, we only had the distance between the two centers, this radius and that radius. So the question was, at the end of the question, we are supposed to calculate the length of the whole of this belt here. So to do it, we have said that you must be given the distance between the two centers and the radius on both circles. So first of all, I calculated the length CD. To calculate CD takes you back to what we learned on Thursday. Oh, kishapata the length of CD, it is the same as getting the length GF. And then once you get that, we are supposed to get the length of the two arcs. The first arc, GHC, and the second arc, DEF. So starting with the first arc, length of any arc is given by theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Theta is the angle that subtends that arc. So since we needed this angle, we had to calculate the value of this angle, starting from the inside part. So first of all, I got the angle CAB. CAB using this smaller triangle. I had the adjacent and the hypotenuse I used. I got CAB as 77.2 degrees. And once I got CAB, I also got this other, which is the same as CAB. So I got the obtuse angle CAG. CAG was like CAB times 2, which was 154.4. So once I got the obtuse, then angles at a point add up to 360. To get reflex CAG, I said 360 minus 154. I got the required angle for the length. So the angle I needed is 205.6. So with this 205, now I say arc length equals to theta over 362 pi r, which is 205.6 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7. The radius of that biggest circle was 10. We got the value. Smaller circle, we say that there is some similarities here. The obtuse CAG is the same as the obtuse DBF. So since I got the obtuse 154, I used that 154 to calculate the other arc length. I got the answer 16.2. So to get the total length, I added everything together. Then I got 87.1 centimeters. So wale wa questions, kama kuna mtu yote wa question, you may ask. So you're trying this question, that is in case umeelewa the process on how we did the other question. So everything we did, utafanya hivyo. So the question is, in the figure above, AB equals to 32 centimeters. AC equals to 15 centimeters. And BD equals to 9 centimeters. So the question is, calculate the length of the direct common belt CDEFGHC. You're calculating the length of that common belt. So kama wewe unafanya, make sure that, just like I explained the other question, niliwaambia mchukue screenshot for this. So utaanza na CD, uende angle BSC, uende CAG, uende hivyo. Show your explanation kila kitu mpaka senye utamaliza mwisho. Just like I did this other example here. So use this example on the process to do it. Unajua ukipatiwa question kwa exam, it is not necessarily that they'll ask you step by step. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just ask you that direct question like venye nimesema hapa, then you do it. So can you do that? Alafu nikifungua the other class, mkuu at least memorize. I'll give you around how many minutes?